What's going on, bulls? We have some news to look at today. Happy 5th of July. I hope you had a really good 4th. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button for the love of all that is holy. And speaking of holy, I'm calling you all to hodl, to give a hodl. Don't be scared. We've been through this before. The price goes up. The price goes down. Over time, the price just goes up, up, up. It's called a crashing up. It goes up a ton and then it crashes down. And it goes up and then it crashes down. And it goes up and then it crashes down. And it just keeps going up. So hodl, my friends. Hodl. Let's dive into the first news bit. So I was on CNBC.com, and this is CNBC.com, and they're saying, here's what cryptocurrencies will look like in 50 years according to experts. So that obviously caught my attention because I'm like, well, let's read this. Let's see what they post. Is this going to be FUD? Is this going to be factual? Are they actually going to take ideas from quote-unquote experts? And overall, I was pretty pleased with the article. Let's go through it. It's getting harder to imagine a future without cryptocurrencies. Exactly. I cannot imagine a future without cryptocurrencies, not because I'm bullish, not because I'm a cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum enthusiast, but because it just makes sense. It's like when we're driving around a bunch of horse and buggies, and all of a sudden someone invents the car. I may be in the horse and buggy business, and the car may be really bad for my business, but I'd have to be a fool to not see that, yeah, cars are the future. Cryptocurrencies are the future. Bitcoin, Ethereum are the future in the same way that a car is a massive upgrade from horse and buggy. I'm not even being hyperbolic. I'm being very accurate as I can be, because it's just a fact. When the internet came around, if you knew what you were looking at, you knew, yeah, this is going to change the world. That's what cryptocurrency is doing. Most people still do not understand that, not at all. So we're in a lot of speculation, and there's a lot of people that feel threatened. In particular, the financial industries feel threatened by cryptocurrency, as they should, because they are in an archaic, old model. They're basically still, in my opinion, stuck back in like the 1900s. That's how far behind they are from developing for the rest of the world in terms of our financial health system, fiat, inflation. It's absurd. Moving on in the article. Whatever a person forecasts for cryptocurrencies, it's getting harder to imagine a future without them. I agree. They talk about, looking at stocks and S&P. The definition for those hasn't changed in centuries. None of that is true for cryptocurrencies. And some predict the crypto coins will forever change how we understand and interact with money. They will. And others warn of a dangerous bubble. Well, they don't get it. Yeah, there's bubbles. I mean, these are the crashes that we see because people get so excited about cryptocurrency. Once they understand what it is, at least a little bit, then they buy in, but then it goes down and they freak out. And you got to go through this. I've been through that a couple times. And then you really start to understand what it is. And then you're like, you come to the conclusion that no matter what, hodl. For real. So here's Ivory Johnson, certified CPA, or certified financial planner, and founder of Delancey Wealth Management. She says, I'm assuming Ivory seems like a lady's name, but could be a guy, I guess. Cryptocurrencies will disrupt traditional finance because one of their most attractive utilities is the ability to efficiently transfer payment across borders with little to no cost, delay, or foreign currency fluctuations. I'm going through that right now. I transferred some money on Thursday. Today's Monday. I still haven't received the money from one of my American accounts to another American account. I still haven't received the money. With respect to Bitcoin, 50 years is a long time, and Bitcoin could either become the world reserve currency or the next AOL that made a lot of people wealthy until it was unseated by better technology. It's important to have those perspectives. I can't see a possible anything where Bitcoin is not the world reserve currency, frankly, because it can't be done any more perfectly, if that makes any sense. It's perfect. It's true digital gold. It is perfect. It's not going to be meant to be spent. It's going to be meant to be a store of value, and that's what real money is. Real money, because of the current systems we live in, shouldn't actually be used. We should just be trading, IOUs, basically. Because it doesn't make sense for us to be trading Bitcoin back and forth. Could we do that? Yeah, but it's not going to happen because I'm not going to spend my Bitcoin. Most people that have Bitcoin aren't going to spend it. So it's going to have to become reserve currency. Frederick Kaufman, author of The Money Plot, A History of Currency's Power to Enchant, Control, and Manipulate. I like the sound of this guy's book. I may get it. Way before 2071, the dollar will have more in common with a crypto than with silver or gold. So there's no need to doubt the longevity of encrypted algorithms as stores of value and medium of exchange. Well, media, I guess, in the singular. All money is a form of encryption. It's been that way from the start as our lives converge ever more closely with the digital universe. The drive to invest in tokens will only accelerate. Ironically, that impulse will connect us to primitive instincts and do its part to keep us human. I like this person. I may buy their book. That's some pretty good stuff. I agree with everything that person said. Not that I'm perfect, not that I know everything, but I understand crypto and I understand where it's going and why it exists and what it's going to change for the very general, for the very broad 30,000 foot view. I like what that guy says. Next, and CNBC is publishing this. Dan Egan, Vice President of Behavioral Finance and Investing at Betterment. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin have proven themselves useful for money movement and speculation, and they're unlikely to go away. But where and how we'll generate the energy to meet the demand of growing crypto market is worth considering, as well as whether state actors who view it as competitor to fiat power will make it even more of a black market commodity. What they mean, black market commodity, not saying it's bad, just saying that there will be resistance from those with fiat power. And where we'll generate the energy is kind of an interesting comment. I don't see any problem with being able to generate the energy going forward. I really don't. I think that is such a massive piece of FUD. Massive piece of FUD, because we're moving towards a more solar, hydropower, renewable energy system. It's just that we're being held back by oil power, which is also fiat power, by the way. I implore you to Google petrodollar. Petro, P-E-T-R-O, dollar, petrodollar. Look at what that is and look at the history of that. Dragan Boskovic, founder and director of Blockchain Research Lab at Arizona State University. Director of Arizona State University has a blockchain research lab. That's awesome. Central bank authorities are busy developing regulations on cryptocurrency. They recognize that digital currencies are native to the digital economy and, as such, are on their way to becoming mainstream in the next 10 years. I see that as possible. I don't see that as for sure in 10 years, but I see that as quite possible. Mainstream. I guess you got to ask yourself, what do you mean by mainstream? And lastly, they interviewed a lady called Barbara Roper, Director of Investor Protection for the Consumer Federation of America. That actually just kind of sounds like a front, like a political party, actually, that's just kind of renamed something. That's what that looks like to me, like a super PAC type thing. Anyways, I don't know, though. Her comment was, sorry. I decided a while back that I'm too old for this issue. Oh, please, can I hire you to manage my money, Barbara Roper? You're terrible. That's your comment? You're terrible. Go retire and stop doing anything. Check this out. This is a senator.
Innovation Caucus in Congress. She's been a major advocate for cryptocurrencies on Capitol Hill. And I sat down with her for CNBC's Financial Advisor Summit, and she told me she envisions Bitcoin in particular becoming an important component of individual retirement portfolios. She believes it can serve as a hedge against inflation as the size of the nation's debt relative to GDP hits historic highs.
I encourage people to buy and hold. I encourage them to save Bitcoin for their retirement, for their future. And that's because as the Congress spends trillions and trillions of dollars and is flooding our economy and the world economy with US dollars, there's no way that we cannot debase the value of the US dollars.
And Lemus practices what she preaches. She's an investor in Bitcoin as well.
I buy Bitcoin and I hold Bitcoin.
You buy Bitcoin?
Oh, yes.
You have Bitcoin?
I do.
How much Bitcoin do you have?
Well, I only have, I think, 5 Bitcoin.
So only 5 Bitcoin, but she bought them in 2013 for about $300 each. So she can now add a couple of zeros to that number. And Wyoming is in the process of setting up its own crypto banking system that Lemus hopes will become a model for other states as well. My full interview with Senator Lemus and all of the sessions.
How great was that? She bought that lady, she's what, maybe 60. She bought Bitcoin back in 2013. That was before me. That was probably before most of you listening. And Wyoming, I forgot about that, is really carving a path to state-wise to really create an extra friendly environment for cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Obviously, in part because of her being there, that's very helpful. Think of Wyoming as kind of El Salvador. As far as United States go, you can think of Wyoming kind of as El Salvador a bit, because they really are trying to really lay down some groundworks and get ahead. Because as you can imagine, Wyoming is not the most prominent state in the country. As a matter of fact, it is the least populated state in the country, but it is a beautiful state. That's where Yellowstone National Park is. It's a beautiful, beautiful state. And speaking of debasement, which she mentioned, and trillions of dollars, let's dive into the stock to flow model. This is Plan B's stock to flow model. They're saying that the Bitcoin USD is now furthest away from his stock to flow model estimates in 2 years. Now, he only came up with this in 2019. It's one of the most widely used. According to his model, Bitcoin should be around 70, almost 78,000, but currently it's sitting around 33, 34,000. And it's now the furthest away from estimated value in more than 2 years. Now, here's the part that I wanted to get to. Federal Reserve has printed more than $4 trillion of fresh dollars since the coronavirus pandemic hit in 2020. $4 trillion. That's the same amount the U.S. Central Bank had previously created since it was established early last century. Now, this is coming from CoinDesk. I don't know how accurate this is, but I don't think it is very inaccurate, if that makes sense to you. But the stock to flow model, I still really like it, but it's just, I don't think it accounts for the harsh spikes upwards and downwards for Bitcoin and the overall cryptocurrency market. So also noting that the model relies heavily on the assumption that the scarcity of the cryptocurrency should drive value, and it does, but it's not always the case. That's especially true because of the volatile short-term swings in the Bitcoin price. That's exactly what I was saying. Now, lastly, let's take a look at the market, the overall market. Coin market cap today, we're sitting here at 1.4 trillion. Bitcoin dominance at almost 45%. ETH's making a bit of a run here because on July, I think 15th, is when EIP 1559 comes out, and I've been noticing for the past week or two, ETH really outpacing Bitcoin and really almost everything, but I look at it mostly compared to Bitcoin, and I've been wondering, why is that? There must be something going on, and then I remembered EIP 1559. So some people, a good portion of the market, are, I believe, buying Ethereum in anticipation of EIP 1559, which is part of the moving to ETH 2.0. I'm not going to go into all that on this video. Feel free to Google those things, ETH 2.0 and EIP 1559. Go ahead and read on those. You'll be very well to do that. You'll be ahead of most people if you just have that information. But essentially what EIP 1559 is going to do, it's going to start moving them into 2.0, which has not happened yet, and it's not slated to happen until next year, and we'll see if it even gets done by then. But EIP 1559 is a step in that direction, and it will change the way miners are paid, and it will actually burn, which is literally eliminate, some ETH from the market every transaction, which will bring down the number of ETH coins available, therefore a deflationary, value rising activity. Let's go into the market here. Bitcoin sitting here at about 33.9 at the time I'm recording this, just under $10 under 34,000 market cap, about 640 billion. And Ethereum sitting at about 261 billion, around 22.24 is its spot price. And if you look at these charts over here, move that out a little bit more now. You see in the red here, but the green for the ETH, but I think it has a lot to do with EIP. Binance coin is up a bit. Cardano up a bit. Obviously, it got added to the Grayscale Trust. XRP down a bit. Dogecoin, can't wait till that falls out of the top 10. I'm sorry if you're a Dogecoin truther, but Dogecoin literally has no use. It has no use. USDC coin, which I believe will become the number one stable coin. Polkadot down a bit. Uniswap up a bit. Binance USD, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Solana, a project I like. Chainlink is a project I also like. Polygon, a project I really, really like. It's this right here. It's down a little bit today. Polygon is one of the, if you get invested in Polygon a year ago, it was one of the absolute best financial investments you could have made, because it went up something like 400x. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And it's so useful because it really helps facilitate trading of tokens and transactions that are much faster, much cheaper, but they still go through the Ethereum blockchain, as far as I understand it anyways. But they create, I don't know, Polygon has quite a future, because Polygon or another company, but either way, what Polygon does, the service it provides, has a strong long-term need in the cryptocurrency market. That's why it's gone up so much. I really like it. Chainlink does too. Chainlink is an oracle, so it helps also move coins from one chain to another, like Ethereum to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to Ethereum, to Polygon, to Litecoin. It helps move them around. It acts as a bridge. So good stuff going on today. Overall, what do we say the market was at? Overall, the market itself is down just a little bit, down to 1.43 trillion, down almost 3% over the last 24 hours. But that's what I got for you today. Be sure to hodl is my advice, but not financial advice. Make your own decisions. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I appreciate that so much. It really helps support the channel. Have yourself a wonderful July 5th. You're awesome.